The issue stems from the switched receptacle outlets intended for holiday lighting. These outlets are currently wired to the same 15 amp arc fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI, protected circuit that serves all the receptacles in the master bedroom. The problem is that this configuration does not comply with the requirements for switched receptacles. According to the electrical code, specifically referring to sections addressing receptacle placement in switched receptacles, a holiday lighting receptacle should be supplied by a general-purpose branch circuit as defined in 210.70. A1 Exception number 1. A general-purpose branch circuit is defined as one that supplies multiple outlets, not dedicated solely to a single room or specific purpose. In this scenario, the master bedroom circuit is not considered a general-purpose branch circuit because it only supplies outlets within the master bedroom itself. It doesn't extend to other areas or serve other general-use receptacles. To rectify this code violation, the switched receptacle outlets for the holiday candles need to be rewired onto a separate general-purpose branch circuit. This means that the circuit powering these outlets must also supply other receptacles in the areas outside of the master bedroom. Firstly, identify an existing general-purpose branch circuit with sufficient capacity that can accommodate the additional load of the holiday lights. Secondly, tap into this circuit to supply the switched receptacle outlets. Thirdly, ensure the existing circuit's ampacity is sufficient to handle the additional load, referencing relevant tables and calculations for conductor sizing and overcurrent protection. Fourthly, make sure that the new wiring adheres to all applicable codes and regulations, including proper grounding, conductor types, and box fill requirements. Now let's delve deeper into the reasoning behind this code requirement. The intent is to prevent overloading dedicated circuits and to ensure that holiday lighting is powered by a circuit that also serves other general needs within the home. This promotes a balanced load distribution across the electrical system. It also helps prevent nuisance tripping of the AFCI breaker, which can occur if a dedicated circuit is overloaded with holiday lights, especially when multiple strands are connected. Consider the implications of not adhering to this code requirement. Firstly, there's the potential for electrical hazards such as overloaded circuits, overheating, and even fire. Secondly, the installation will not pass inspection by the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, requiring costly rework. Thirdly, it demonstrates a lack of compliance with established safety standards and best practices. In order to ensure compliance and safety, several steps can be taken. Firstly, carefully review the relevant sections of the electrical code, including Article 210.52. E1 Exception number 1. Secondly, consult with a qualified electrical contractor to assess the existing wiring and determine the best way to add a new general-purpose branch circuit for the holiday lighting. Thirdly, use appropriate wiring methods and materials that are suitable for the intended application and environment. Fourthly, conduct thorough testing of the completed installation to verify that it meets all applicable requirements and functions properly. Let's break down some key terms and concepts. A branch circuit is a circuit conductor between the final overcurrent device protecting the circuit and the outlet. A general-purpose branch circuit is a branch circuit that supplies two or more receptacles or outlets for lighting and appliances. A switched receptacle is a receptacle that is controlled by a wall switch. An AFCI, or arc fault circuit interrupter, is a device that protects against electrical fires caused by arcing faults. The electrical code is a set of regulations that govern the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. Ampacity refers to the current carrying capacity of a conductor, measured in amps. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. Grounding ensures a safe path for fault current to return to the source, minimizing the risk of electric shock. When planning the installation of a new general-purpose branch circuit, consider the following factors. Firstly, the total load that the circuit will be expected to carry, including the holiday lights and any other connected appliances or devices. Secondly, the ampacity of the conductors and overcurrent protection device. Thirdly, the location of the new receptacles and the most efficient way to run the wiring. Fourthly, the aesthetics of the installation and how it will blend in with the existing decor. It is crucial to use appropriately sized conductors for the circuit. For a 15 amp circuit, typically number 14 American wire gauge or AUG copper conductors are used. For a 20 amp circuit, number 12 AWG copper conductors are required. Always consult the relevant tables in the electrical code to determine the correct conductor size based on the ampacity of the circuit, the insulation type of the conductor, and the ambient temperature. Overcurrent protection is also critical. A 15 amp circuit should be protected by a 15 amp circuit breaker or fuse. A 20 amp circuit should be protected by a 20 amp circuit breaker or fuse. Never use an overcurrent protection device with a higher ampacity than the circuit is designed to handle, as this could lead to overheating and fire. When making electrical connections, always use approved wiring methods and materials. This includes using properly sized wire connectors, ensuring that all connections are tight and secure, and protecting the wiring from physical damage. When installing receptacles, make sure that they are properly grounded and securely mounted in approved electrical boxes. Pay attention to box fill requirements, which specify a maximum number of conductors that can be installed in a given electrical box. Overfilling electrical boxes can lead to overheating and other problems. Consider the type of receptacle used for the holiday lights. A standard duplex receptacle is suitable for most applications, but a tamper-resistant receptacle may be required in certain areas, such as in children's bedrooms or play areas. If the holiday lights are located outdoors or in a damp location, use a weather-resistant receptacle and a weatherproof cover. AFCI or ground fault circuit interrupter protection may be required for receptacles located in certain areas, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. AFCI protection helps to prevent electric shock by detecting ground faults and quickly interrupting the circuit. Remember to follow all applicable codes and regulations when installing electrical wiring and equipment. The electrical code is a complex document, and it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, consult with a qualified electrical contractor. Proper labeling of the circuit is also essential. Clearly label the circuit breaker or fuse that supplies the holiday lighting receptacles. This will make it easier to identify the circuit in the future and to turn it off for maintenance or repairs. In addition to the technical aspects of the installation, it is also important to consider the aesthetic aspects. Try to run the wiring in a way that is neat and unobtrusive. Use cable ties or other fasteners to secure the wiring to the building structure. Avoid running the wiring across exposed surfaces where it could be easily damaged. When installing receptacles, choose a color and style that matches the existing decor. Remember that safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrical contractor to do the job. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on it, and use appropriate safety equipment such as insulated tools and gloves. Inspecting your work is necessary. Once the installation is complete, thoroughly inspect it to ensure that everything is working properly. Check the voltage at the receptacles to make sure that it is within the acceptable range. Test the AFCI protection to make sure that it is functioning correctly. Verify that all connections are tight and secure. Also, consider the future needs of the homeowner. Will they want to add more holiday lights in the future? If so, it may be wise to install a larger circuit or to run additional wiring to the area. Planning for future needs can save time and money in the long run. Lastly, document the installation. Keep a record of the wiring diagram, the materials used, and the test results. This documentation will be helpful for future maintenance and repairs, and it may also be required by the local building inspector. In summary, the code violation stems from the improper wiring of the holiday lighting receptacles to the master bedroom circuit. To rectify this, the receptacles must be rewired to a separate general-purpose branch circuit that also supplies other outlets outside of the master bedroom. By following these guidelines and adhering to all applicable codes and regulations, a safe and compliant installation can be achieved. The proper solution would be to identify a general-purpose circuit and move the holiday lighting switched receptacles to this circuit to adhere to the electrical code requirements.